Acelino Freitas trying to come back with a huge overhand right.
And he took the left hook for his trouble. The wider Freitas' punches get, the more he thinks he has to be a puncher. And they suggested to him, you're not, you're the champion in that corner, meaning that Corrales has to come to him. And by the way, this might be a good time to remind people, Corrales gave up his junior lightweight title to fight for this title. So he's a man without a country should he lose this fight.
So a big gamble by Chico Corrales, but he's got to be feeling a lot better about things after that last round. Corrales' punches are landing with more regularity now as Freitas looks vulnerable all of a sudden.
And while we're still seeing movement from Freitas, we're not seeing as many punches come back from him. Corrales has to be very careful, and he can't be lulled into thinking, just because he knocked him down once, that he can't be busy in these rounds. He needs to be. And
remember, Diego Corrales has been down 8 times in his career. 5 versus Floyd Mayweather Jr., 3 times in 2 fights with Joe Casamayor. Corrales losing the first, winning the rematch. It's tightening up along Fresh Row. Terry Price of the Hartford Current now has it all even.
And that's exactly the way I have it. I have an even fight right now. But you can make the case for Freitas maybe being a point or two ahead still.
Corrales coming back, using that jab, following it up with a nice right.
This is a much more effective Diego Corrales. The jab's helping him. He's going to the body a little bit more, and less offense coming from Acelino Freitas than we saw earlier.
So the first half of the fight, Acelino Freitas in charge, and now Diego Corrales with the momentum.
There's the jab. Yeah, Corrales now, the punch that he used so effectively against Casamayor, very effective now. And that right hand that missed over the head of Corrales by Freitas, a very telling point. That was thrown very wide, kind of lazily, not like we've seen him throw the right hands earlier.
Corrales did say his jab and his hooks would be keys.
You have to love matches like this with all these ebbs and flows. There are so many different plot changes here.
A lot of drama, a very competitive, entertaining affair here. Right hand down goes Freitas again. 1 point. Make matters worse for Freitas. Michael Ortega deducting a point for excessive loss of the mouthpiece.
Hey, he can't be doing this. He's going to get disqualified. Put it in. Put it in. Time in. Bucks.
It's a call we don't see very often, but it could come back to haunt Freitas.
Great job by referee Michael Ortega. That was appropriate.
7th round is Al pointed out in favor of Corrales, who has been coming back with a vengeance. We're into round 10, scheduled for 12. It has turned out to be an outstanding fight. Popo being extra cautious. He's been down 2 times, 7 times in his career. Again, fighting off the ropes, which is dangerous.
He is languishing on the ropes with his hands down, and if he continues to do that, he'll get it with a big left hook or another one of those right hands. Good combo, though, by Freitas.
Freitas coming back there. Doesn't seem to phase the rock jaw. Chico Corrales missing there with a right, looking to end it on 1 punch. Beautiful combination. Quick hands by Corrales upstairs. Now he's coming through with the jab.
You can make the call.
Oh, a countering left hand to the nose by Freitas.
And Corrales with a good combination as well.
Oh, Freitas is down for the 3rd time.
4,005, 1,006, 1,007, 1,008.
And he's got a minute 35. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He's done. It's over, and Corrales wins it. As Popo Freitas says, no mas, no mas. After he goes down for the third time in the fight, Diego Chico Corrales at 124 of round 10 unofficially is the new WBO lightweight champion of the world.
He persevered through the early, brilliant boxing display of Acelino Freitas. Didn't lose his concentration or his poise.
First loss in the career of Acelino Freitas in 36 fights.
He had been knocked down 3 times, and after the third one, just didn't want to continue anymore. He took some hellacious shots from Diego Corrales.
And what a moment for Corrales.
Look what we did. Look at my team. Look at my squad.
Corrales had already hurt Freitas. Hit a couple of good combinations. And then as Freitas retreated to the ropes, he will get nailed with this right hand. That one actually on the back of the ear. I think it hurt his equilibrium, but he'd already been hurt really just previous to that in a big exchange. And that right hand knocked him down. And you see Freitas already showing signs that he doesn't want to continue. And now thinks about it and says, no, I can't go on. That a little bit surprising from a fighter who has been a warrior, though, you know, it's hard to second guess someone who took big punishment with 3 knockdowns. We looked from the top, and here was where that right hand, and actually that was a superb right hand that landed on the ear area of Freitas. And after this third knockdown, you can see he's thinking about whether this should continue at all. And so those early brilliant rounds go for naught for Acelino Freitas because the power of Corrales ultimately wins the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 24 seconds in round number 10. A referee in charge, Michael Ortega, acknowledges the fighter and his request, and a referee stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout and new WBO lightweight champion of the world, Diego Chico Corrales.
So a defining moment in the career of Diego Chico Corrales. A shock to Popo Freitas' fans as Freitas leaves the ring. Freitas quitting in round 10, deciding he didn't want to take any more punishment from Diego Chico Corrales after being put to the canvas on 3 occasions. Let's get it up to Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. As we see Popo Freitas leaving the ring, Diego, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Your assessment tonight, it seemed as though you were having trouble with Freitas early with his lateral movement and all of his activity. What turned this fight around?
Actually, it was just taking my time, biding my time. We had our game plan. We knew the early rounds, keep the pace, keep things strong. My pace has been strong. We've worked hard. So we knew keep the pressure on, keep the pace, work behind the jab, work behind the head movement, and pound the body. So that's all we did. We took our time, and by the time we had 12 rounds, 45 minutes worth of fighting to do, that's a lot of time to run.
So you did figure that he was going to tire out with all that movement?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't keep that kind of pace up. I was coming really hard, and I'm pounding to the body as much as possible, and you're missing shots, too. So we were prepared for that kind of fight.
And then you connected with him in the 8th round with your first of the 3 knockdowns. Tell us about what happened there in the 8th round, and it seemed as though he got more than 30 seconds because he spit out his mouthpiece the first of 2 times.
Yeah, you know, it just keeping my eye on the prize. Like, I kept my eye in there, kept everything nice and calm and composed. I kept my defense real tight, and I was catching shots down the middle, down the pipe. I knew, you know, in the later rounds was where it was going to happen at. We worked on the straight shots down the pipe, keeping our hands tight, and that's exactly what played out. In all 3 knockdowns, it was nothing but simple fundamentals, hands high, shots down the pipe.
Were you surprised that he quit? No mas?
Here's the history repeating itself. You know, I was shocked, yeah.
Let me ask you, your corner was very upset, Joe Goosen and your gang over there, as were you, when he spit out the mouthpiece the second time. He got a point penalty, but did you think it should have been more severe for the actions that had happened?
No, because I mean, I want the ability to take care of my own job. I want to go in and do my job. Do I feel he should have been penalized? Yes, he was penalized. I'm happy with that. The referee did a great job of maintaining things. I leave it in the referee's hands every time. You know, if a foul comes up, it's the referee's job to take care of it. The referee did a great job. You can't say anything about it.
What do you want to do now? You've moved up in weight class. What are your plans now to do with this title?
You know, you got a lot of great champions out there. I'd love to see them all. Like I said, I'm here to clean up this division. I really want to prove that I am the best in this division. It all comes down to proving it, and I'm going to put mine on the line. I want to know if everybody else wants to too.
Final thought, Diego. When you lost to Mayweather back January 20th, 2001, you took 2 years off. Did you ever feel you would be back in this position?
I had faith, and I had a great wife that when I did start to lose a little faith, she kind of reinforced it for me, helped me remember what I am and what I can do.
Diego, tremendous performance tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. Back to you, Steve Albert.
All right, Jim, thank you so much as we hear from the victorious Diego Chico Corrales, who clearly was not the fans' choice, the people's choice here at Foxwoods. Let's take a look and listen to the end of the fight when Acelino Freitas said, no mas.
2007, 2008, nothing. Okay, no more.
Well, the last time we saw and heard that, of course, was a fellow named Roberto Duran, which became kind of legendary, and now we see it tonight in what turns out to be a terrific fight. Some might call it a classic fight between Acelino Freitas and Diego Corrales. 3 knockdowns in the fight for Chico Corrales after it looked like Acelino Freitas had the momentum in the early going.
Corrales, when he was able to get Freitas against the ropes, as he did here, landing a terrific right hand that would send Freitas down. This was the knockdown in which he spit the mouthpiece out the first time. It would not get a penalty, but it would be something that would be repeated and cost him. It got him a little extra time, however, and that may have been part of the reason why he was able to sustain and continue in this fight. In round 9, again, Freitas not showing quite as much movement. His hands are low, throws a right to the body and gets hit with a counter right by Diego Corrales. Almost every big punch that was landed by either fighter in this fight, it was off a counter move. Freitas had spit the mouthpiece out and would have a point deducted by the referee for doing so, thus making it a 10-7 round, though ultimately it would be academic because Corrales, who had already hurt Freitas to this point, would land a right hand on the top of the head, and this created the situation in which Freitas got up, beat the count, but simply could not continue.
How did that hit you? Were you completely shocked and surprised that he said no more?
I was astonished. Although he had taken some punishment and had been hit with some very big punches by this man, Diego Corrales.
All right, now let's take a look at how the scoring went for this fight, Freitas versus Corrales. First, we'll take a look at the official judges' scorecards. Here we go. Tommy Kazmarek, at the time of the stoppage, had Freitas ahead 85-83. Melvena Lathan had Corrales ahead by 1. And here are the press row scores. 2 of them had Corrales ahead at the stoppage. 1 of them had Freitas. So the same for both. Split decision to Corrales at the time of the stoppage for both press row scorers and the ringside judges.